I mean, if we know anything about America, it's like this free market idea is super important, and I want to see that with education. Like, why are we subsidizing education? Like, and even and this is a bit more radical, but even public education, it's like we sneer at Russia and China so much because they brainwash the kids in school. Who's to say we're not doing the same? I'm not saying we are. I mean, we are to a certain extent. But like, who's to say we're not doing the same as they are in China and Russia? They say the same thing about us, I'm sure. Most people in America are educated by the government.
Yeah.
And nobody even thinks about that. Nobody even talks about that. And then even when you get to college, colleges don't have to do a good job. They don't have to charge you a reasonable price because they have essentially not a monopoly, but there's these state-funded schools that now the state once again has a say in your education, what you learn. And then also colleges don't have to do well because they're just going to get these huge grants continuously.
They get the huge grants. And then additionally that the loan market was dominated and actually, taken control of by Obama with the Fed loan program. At the same time that he was bailing out all the banks, he was monopolizing college loan market, which is where things exploded in terms of cost was after that. And then you can't write it off you can't go bankrupt.
Yeah.
You can't write off that debt on bankruptcy.
Right.
Which if you could, it would provide a heck of a disincentive to get unnecessary degrees and, a college that doesn't actually equip you.
Yeah. I mean, my generation's looking at a bit of an economic hellscape and also an educational hellscape. And I think it's very concerning. I think that is unintentionally leading or subconsciously leading to a lot of the resentment. Is like people don't realize that they all this stress that they have is really from this future. Like, what is our future? Like, where are we going to have our country in 50 years?
And that resentment, I think, manifests into a bunch of different angles.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Highly democratic socialist and then all radical right wing.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's interesting that radical right wing is the more cultural center right push, right? It's not everybody's there, but it's slightly that way because it hasn't been that way for a very long time.
Yeah.
And the fact that they would interpret it that way because of and if I'm getting you right, and I just tell me if I'm wrong here, it's because of the indoctrination has just put them in such a position of being the perpetual bad guy in the story.
Yeah.
That they're like, fuck it, I'm a bad guy now, and I'll just be the bad guy.
I'll be the
and
villain.
That means I'll be the opposite of what you want me to be.
Absolutely.
You want me to be a socialist, so I'm going to be a raging Republican.
Absolutely. The two things that are trending are Nick Fuentes and Rage Against the Machine.
Yeah.
And that's
ironically.
That's what it is. That's what it is. And so absolutely. I mean, every single teacher, pretty much every single teacher without fail, is liberal, and you can tell.
Yes.
And they push these, and this is public school, and they push these liberal ideas subconsciously, and a lot of times people catch it. I catch it every time because I was raised to be super politically aware of okay, this is what they're doing, but not everybody does, but they catch it at least sometime. And have you ever met a teenager who doesn't go against the authority?
Yeah.
It's just natural.
Well, it is and it isn't. When I was in college and in high school, everyone knew everything was left wing. It's just that's what everything was. And so me being the weird right winger was always the one that was weird in class, and that was just what it was. I was the equivalent of the goth kid, right?
Yeah.
I wasn't goth, but the equivalent of the goth kid where I'm the vast minority and the system's going against me. But there was no center right bias at all. It was all center left. And I wonder why that is, other than the Trump phenomena, Trump making it cool in a way a little bit, but also
Trump is probably a heroic figure in a sense. He probably hits this archetype of just being I like that guy. It's just kind of no nonsense, that type of thing.
I mean, he's a cool guy. He has aura, as the kids say.
There's aura.
Nothing bad can happen. It can only good happen.
I mean, I don't know if you've ever seen the account like Mytho MAGA on Twitter. I don't follow them. I'm not a diehard MAGA or diehard Trump guy, but you can't question the fact that he has this vibe about him that everybody likes.
He's mimetic. There's a meme there that people latch onto. And I think JD's, speaking of you like JD, I think JD has a lot of that mimetic energy that people are latching onto. It's different than Trump's.
We saw that during the VP debate where he did the Vance glance.
That was great. That was great.
Or just he's embodying internet culture and going with the fat
memes.
stuff,
Those
right?
are great.
I also suspected somewhat Newtonian, the left got overextended at some point. They overdid it. And then that's also why it's that way. That's why it's more the non-political person is slightly more right wing, and that's leading to an aggregate more right wing overall because the left overextended. Is that right?